DJ Reed was a big loss for the 49ers. Who did I start with last time? Leo?
I started.
Okay, Leo, you start this time.
No. He played 12 snaps in one-score games all last season, and he was active for every single game last season. So, no, they signed Jamar Taylor in this offseason, and he's very similar to what DJ Reed can do. In fact, he has more experience than DJ Reed, so they won't miss him at all. It's fine.
I'm going to agree with that. And that's mainly because how many times have we harped on this, how many secondary players are going to be potentially hitting the free market and being different teams next season? Because it's like half the secondary is pretty much free agent, right? And DJ Reed, at least he's like a multi-dimensional player in terms of where you can put him interchangeably. And at least like the 49ers would have had someone in their system, a young young prospect that they could have hopefully groomed to fill in at some point, versus now it's like, oh, now we got to force our hands and cash out and try to hold on to more of these players like K'Waun Williams, especially whose leverage is really up against it now, especially without DJ Reed, which I know I've seen Nick talk about, and I couldn't agree more once he said that. It's going to be, I don't say it's a huge loss right now, but looking down the future, we could be kicking ourselves and saying like, wow, they could have kept him, a nice rotational player. You know, why'd you shell out all this money, you know, and you're wondering why you can't hold on to all these other players, because it's all about keeping the core together. I understand that, but at some point you're going to have to coach some of these younger prospects up and see what they can do so you can get them on that rookie deal. So I think it's a big loss right now.
Yep, I agree. At first glance, you don't think it's a big loss because the reality going in even before the injury is that he was going to be K'Waun Williams' backup. You know, he wasn't going to have a big role. This defense is so elite that you're not going to be hurting because you lost the presence of your backup nickelback, right? So as far as 2020 goes, this is not going to have a large impact on the season unless Williams gets hurt. But looking ahead at 2021, just like Jose touched on, almost the entire all the cornerbacks, your top three cornerbacks are all the top four, if you're going to count Emmanuel Mosley being a restricted free agent or exclusive restricted free agent, they're all set to hit the market, you know, and having that backup in DJ Reed that's familiar with the system that you can move around. Williams just has all the more leverage right now going in his contract negotiations. And if the team can't bring him back next year, having Reed in his fourth year in the system would have been helpful. So it's just similar to the DJ Reed signing. You know, if a scenario unfolds where Ross Dwelley gets cut, DJ Reed gets hurt, you lose Dwelley. One of those, you just have to wait to see how it all plays out, but it certainly has the potential to be a big loss.
And Nick, to piggyback off what you mentioned with that injury, what happens if K'Waun gets injured? You know who's probably going to drop down? Tavarius Moore, and I didn't think Moore can actually cover in the slot well. I mean, of course, in the Super Bowl he was guarding Travis Kelce, but still, I just don't know. What are you going to drop back? Who are you going to drop down there? You're going to make Jimmy Ward go back down there or something like that?
Jamar Taylor, right? Well, Jamar Taylor signed.
Yeah, you're going to have to try to like coach if Jamar can fill in. I know they didn't
move Mosley in there and bring in Agello.
You could do that too. So they're going to have to figure it out. Just coach these guys up.
Well, remember against the Saints, K'Waun Williams went down and DJ Reed comes in, and I believe the Saints scored 2 straight touchdowns to finish off that game once K'Waun was out. So I'm not sure. DJ Reed does provide a lot of depth, but I'm not sure he provides a depth, like quality depth when on the field. He's in a return game, but he had fumble problems in that also. And on defense, it's not like he was a lockdown nickel corner when he came in. How much of a drop-off truly is Jamar Taylor from DJ Reed?
Those are fair points. I don't think he's a huge loss. I was never impressed with DJ Reed when he was on the field, but they developed him for years. They drafted a punter over Chauncey Gardner-Johnson because they allegedly were confident in DJ Reed and wanted to see that project through. I don't think they wanted to get rid of him. If he'd hurt himself in OTAs, they could have put him on IR and kept him. I think they kind of felt like they were in a position where they had no choice. And I think the real issue here is not that they lost DJ Reed and that they wasted basically 2 years of developing him, is that the Seahawks needed a nickelback. And the Niners basically gifted them and helped them fill an issue that they have because of Quentin Dunbar being on the commissioner's exempt list. So it's not a huge loss, but I think he may have a future. And if you look at his athletic profile, as Nick pointed out in an article yesterday, it's quite similar to K'Waun Williams, who wasn't a stud nickelback right away and was an undrafted free agent. DJ Reed's only 23, I believe.
23.
They have a future.
23.
So it's not a backbreaker, and they're not going to notice it this year. But down the line, that guy could be the starting nickel for Seattle. And every time they come to Levi's, you're like, he should be on the Niners.
Absolutely.
Okay.
No, I don't. I just don't see it. To be honest, I don't see it. I don't think the drop off is that far from Jamar Taylor. I don't think DJ Reed affects the win or loss record. And if Seattle does decide to play him at nickel cornerback, that's good for the 49ers offense.
Ha! I like that take. Good stuff, Leo.